Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this. From the Washington Examiner. Top aide to John Kelly denies hearing reported remarks that Trump called dead soldiers losers. Zach Fuentes, a former deputy White House chief staff, denied hearing that President Trump once referred to dead US soldiers as losers and dead Marines as suckers. It's the fake news. I didn't want to cover this initially that much, or if anything, or at all, because it's mostly fake news. It comes from 4 anonymous sources with nothing to prove or even give credence or veracity or even weight to the claims done there. So, unfortunately, that means that idiots with TDS actually believed it as if it were true, as if it were as true as the theory of gravity. They actually thought it was canonical, but as it turns out, even with 8 or more people actually claiming on the record with their names that all of this is fake wasn't enough. And even more so, it came out to light that biggest donor of the Biden campaign, one of the biggest donors, that is, owns the Atlantic. So basically what they did was to print a fake news to aid the Biden campaign because it's sliding down in the polls. Let's go back to the news, because what do I know? Fuentes, a confidant of former White House Chief of Staff John Kelly, also denied speaking to the outlet about the story written by the editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg, which was based on 4 anonymous sources. He speculated that the sources whom Goldberg described as individuals with first-hand knowledge of the matter are unlikely first-hand accounts. "You can put me on record denying that I spoke with the Atlantic," Fuentes told Breitbart. "I don't know who the sources are. I did not hear POTUS call anyone losers when I told him about the weather. Honestly, do you think General Kelly would have stood by and let anyone call fallen Marines losers?" During a Friday press conference, Trump said that Kelly might have been the source for the report, which he and multiple current and former White House staffers have denied as true. "I don't know that it was him. I haven't seen that. I mean, I see anonymous, but it could have been a guy like John Kelly," Trump said. Trump took aim at his former chief of staff, saying that he didn't do a good job, had no temperament, and ultimately, he was petered out. He was exhausted. On a separate note, I am disappointed to see POTUS talk about General Kelly so negatively in the middle of being accused of saying negative things about the military, Fuentes said. "If anyone understands selfless service is General Kelly." In reaction to the report, Trump tweeted his thanks to the former White House staffer. "Just more corrupt fake news trying to change the course of our most important ever election." He wrote. During an interview with CNN chief media correspondent Brian Stelter, Goldberg said that he expects further confirmation of his story from other journalists and new information to come out. Yes, of course, he's waiting that, isn't he? Let me just say it this way, I would fully expect more reporting to come out about this and more confirmation and new pieces of information in the coming days and weeks, Goldberg said. Other news outlets, including Fox News, reported that they have corroborated parts of the story. Well, partially on the Fox News thing is that one of the journalists claims that 2 anonymous sources confirms what they said. So basically, you still got nothing. And they sat on this news for 2 years. 2 years. Unpublished only now, a few weeks away from the election. Why? Beat me. Maybe is it not to actually change the polls in direction to favor Biden? The Democrats are definitely fucking desperate, because this is nothing more than fake news. You have 4 anonymous sources. Who could... you can't even vet those sources. You don't have anything concrete that Trump said that. And even more so, it doesn't even come close to what Trump has done. It's everything that Trump has done in regards to the veterans and the military has been outstanding, even dwarfing anything that any previous presidents have done before, at least in the recent candidates and recent presidents in the last few decades. It has been outstanding what he has done, and things like this goes in face against what he has done to those vets. He's given rights and a lot of things. I mean, this is just bullshit. It just contradicts everything Trump has done. It just makes no sense whatsoever. Why would they publish this? Of course, that's a rhetorical question, because we all know why they published it 2 years after the event. Why? Because they want to change the polls. Like I said in the beginning of the video, and just recently, a few minutes ago, they just want to change the polls in favor to Biden. So basically, none of this holds any weight on truth. It's not truthful. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you on my next video. Good night.